Which of the following is the primary function of the central nervous system, CNS? A. To connect the body to the environment. B. To relay messages between the brain and spinal cord. C. To process and integrate information and initiate appropriate responses. D. To carry sensory information to the muscles. Answer: C. To process and integrate information and initiate appropriate responses. What is the role of the peripheral nervous system, PNS? A. To interpret sensory information. B. To regulate involuntary bodily functions. C. To connect the CNS to limbs and organs. D. To produce hormones. Answer: C. To connect the CNS to limbs and organs. Which part of the neuron is responsible for receiving signals from other neurons? A. Axon. B. Myelin sheath. C. Cell body. D. Dendrites. Answer: D. Dendrites. What type of neuron carries impulses away from the CNS to effectors like muscles and glands? A. Sensory neuron. B. Interneuron. C. Motor neuron. D. Glial cell. Answer: C. Motor neuron. Which structure acts as a relay station for sensory and motor pathways in the brain? A. Hypothalamus. B. Thalamus. C. Cerebellum. D. Medulla oblongata. Answer: B. Thalamus. What is the primary function of myelin in the nervous system? A. To produce neurotransmitters. B. To facilitate rapid transmission of electrical impulses. C. To store energy. D. To protect the neuron's cell body. Answer: B. To facilitate rapid transmission of electrical impulses. Which of the following describes the synapse? A. The gap between two neurons where communication occurs. B. The part of the neuron that contains the nucleus. C. The insulating layer around the axon. D. The structure that transmits signals away from the neuron's cell body. Answer: A. The gap between two neurons where communication occurs. Which glial cell type forms the myelin sheath in the central nervous system? A. Schwann cells. B. Astrocytes. C. Oligodendrocytes. D. Microglia. Answer: C. Oligodendrocytes. What is the function of the autonomic nervous system? A. To control voluntary movements. B. To transmit sensory information to the CNS. C. To regulate involuntary body functions. D. To store and retrieve memory. Answer: C. To regulate involuntary body functions. Which region of the brain is responsible for coordinating voluntary movements and balance? A. Cerebrum. B. Thalamus. C. Cerebellum. D. Brainstem. Answer: C. Cerebellum.